welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode 113. Has gaming become too addictive for a younger generation? Not like us to ask the big questions, Tom, but we are. With me, George, and this week joined by Tom. Fine to possibly pick up the season pass when it gets the price drop. So I already got my grandmother in the boot with a barcode on her forehead, ready to trade in at CEX. How's it going?
The joke thrown to the floor, ready for tomorrow's paper for the puppies we've got in here. Yes,
in the Farmerton
manor, and breeding the hounds. You're breeding with the hounds? Or no. Just them.
Do you get down on all fours and pad around to become at one with the hounds?
I don't go full Mowgli. I just tend to stay human.
Very much a pack animal.
Always.
Okay. Well, to those that have tuned in for video games, they now know that Tom is really just a pack animal. But what they didn't realise is, coming up, we've got some news. And in there, weight loss news, especially if you're a Sony fan. After that, the topic of the day, which Tom looks confused by, although he generated it, is gaming too addictive for a younger generation? Don't worry, there's some real chunky bits in there. Great conversation piece. Possibly your finest work. What makes it finer, Tom, is you're unaware that you even created it. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Did you have a different title than mine?
No, I think the title was great, and thanks everyone. We've had a lot of input on this one. Obviously, we'll discuss a little bit about the mental and physical effects that can bring with the addictiveness of video games.
Can't wait to do your research on that one.
No worries. That's a 10-4. I got you covered. I won't let you down.
After that,
it's all up here.
The mulleted one, the one that's been selling Malcolm's wares, my portraits. He took some prints.
Did he? Of course he did.
Thousands of them.
Really?
Yeah. First Duke in years in Ponsonbury Estate, so they're super stoked. Other than selling us pictures of myself, which I already own, but bizarrely I don't, because my own likeness has been sold to the Ponsonbury Estate. Therefore, I can't even put my own likeness on something else, I'll get sued. Therefore, don't put a picture of me on the internet, because that's meant to be for Ponsonbury Biscuits.
Oh, is it?
The thing that provides the estate, the house, servants, staff.
I'm glad to see you evolving the financial income of the estate, because we can't just rely on...
Esley reminded me that our pet name for Lord Ponsonbury was the Ponds.
I love when fans remember lore because it makes it worthwhile.
But what he used that lore to remind me, therefore, AKA, my new.
I raise a glass to the Ponds.
To the Ponds, yeah.
It's like a...
Don't chink. It's very common. Don't chink.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, don't do that.
Oh, mate, I like a bit of that.
Don't do that.
We all like a bit of rough.
Anyway, okay. As soon as you're talking of that little bit of rough, what have you been playing? Odders, grab hold of your girl on the side, as I asked Tom.
Odders, grab that wheel firmer than Ken Block driving his Ford Focus RS.
Does he live in the village?
Ken Block? Yeah, he uses the barn for doing burnouts.
Oh,
nearly set the straw stack on fire the other day.
What with his name and everything? I didn't expect him to be a car driver. I thought we'd be the provider of food.
Or just breeze blogs. Ken Block, the block layer.
Exactly.
That's how deep the names go in the law.
That's the law.
It's like old times. So if you are you're a smith, you shoe horses in this village.
Wow. Tell us what games you've been playing, you slippery little fish.
I've finished Hades. What a game that is. Fantastic. Been very addicted on the subject of the feature, seamless. I've been very addicted to that and probably spent a few nights staying up a lot later than I should. But brilliant. Very hard to put down and much of I want another run. I can do better on the next run. I'm not going to spoilers because you're playing it.
When you think you're going to do better on the next run, you invariably don't. You don't like 2 or 3.
No, there was 2 times over the weekend where I finished it. I got really close, and then I was like, I can alter something here. I can do something better next time. And I did the next run after that, and I finished it. I say finished it. I've escaped once. It looks like we're probably going to have to escape multiple times. I'll say no more than that. But just discussing quickly, if any of you are playing it, I found a few things just to be very helpful before I pass over to George to ask him what he's been playing.
I've got my pen and paper here, gamers.
Well, we're going to have a look at it after the show, aren't we? Maybe quickly, just have a run, just and look at some things. So, obviously, you granted God's power.
What's become? I was the man who finishes games. Now I'm the man who has his cousin come round and finish it for him.
That is the only game I've finished in a very long time. So, it's the family trait, isn't it? Just go all in when we find something we like.
Pass down, man to boy to man to boy to man to boy. Is there a problem here? No, not at all.
Why have you bought all of this? Well, I see a video of it the other day. It looked really interesting. But you bought everything to do that hobby. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
I can give you a list as long as you're on the hobbies where I've done that.
100%. I've witnessed many of them. Look at these microphones for a start. Man and boy. On that subject, apologies last week for the quiet recording of my voice, but we hopefully have sorted that out this week and hopefully receiving us both loud and clear.
Well, we must, going back before COVID, we had an unfortunate break-in, didn't we? And the podcasting
scum, human scum.
Human scum.
Going back to Hades.
The sort of people you invite to a party.
To kill them?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
We can't do the hand running game anymore then.
No. I thought you might tell me it was just straightforward shooting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't work for Prince Andrew. Not going to work for you.
Where are we? We're Hades.
Hades. So, the shield is probably, if you wanted to prolong your run, is probably the best bet to go for. It becomes very, very helpful in the 2 last boss fights. Which I'll not spoil what they are, but the enemy, those 2 bosses are very difficult. I've found with any other weapon other than the shield, because you can just block pretty much most of the damage. You just sort of shield up, wait till there's an opening, put the damage in, back to blocking. If you couple that with a lot of Athena's powers, so for any who don't know what Hades, you get the Greek gods' abilities. Most of the Greek gods are in the game, and they grant an ability.
When you start one of these fabled runs,
yep.
It seems to me to be potluck what turns up at the door.
Oh, it is to some extent. There's a thing on the mirror where you get the powers. There is one of the last ones you can get is called is you can choose to flip the stuff you're given and swap it for another chance to get some different items.
The wine one, and it's like
he's actually very underrated. If you have again, sometimes with the shield, if you go for you cast with a circle button, you can go for a shield cast build. So you basically let other things do the damage while you concentrate on blocking and dodging, which helps a lot on some of the busier areas where you've got a lot of enemies. So Athena,
one more
Blade.
I hate it when you get to the level and you can't get out of the room, and there's a choice of 2 you have to use, and you know that you're going to be in a fight to the death no matter which one you choose. I hate that room. I despise that.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
There's 2 god symbols.
Oh, they're like mini bosses, aren't they? Mini boss symbols.
They're like, oh, really?
Where you choose a power from one of them. Yeah, they are quite difficult. Most of the time.
I managed to, I think I had 2 deathifieds left or 1 deathified left.
Did you get the Skelly upgrade? Good. How many death defies have you got?
Have you told them about Skelly on air? Tell them about Skelly on air. Give Skelly a gift.
Yeah, give Skelly a gift. You get gifts throughout the game, so give him one of those because you can give them to all the different characters in the game. But give one to him, and he will reward you the very first time you give him a gift with another Death Defiance, which is basically another life. So the maximum lives you can get is 4. It reminds me of being very old school. You can, I didn't realise, you can quit the game, it saves, and then when you load it back up, you are in that run still.
Yeah, no.
I think that's a really neat feature, something Returnal was very lacking, I found. I think Returnal was a little bit too harsh in the fact that they didn't put that in. I think you should be at least allowed, I know you could leave it turned on in standby, but you should at least be allowed to just save it, because we've all got busy lives, adult gamers. So it should be something they should have patched in.
Adult game, wouldn't it? Adult game.
Well, you know what?
Give me the badge.
Give me the badge. Adult game. Man who finishes one game a month, a year. So yeah, go for the Athena upgrades, which is the Divine Dash. So when you dash, you get shields around you and it deflects damage. Can be really helpful. But yeah, we're going to look at that later. I think I've spoken enough about Hades. If you're a fan of roguelites or anything even similar, it's very, very enjoyable. One of the best roguelites I've played.
I would argue that I don't think I'm that big of a fan of roguelites, if I'm being absolutely honest, but there's something very quite appealing about this. The arts, the music.
Yeah, it's a very nicely put together game, isn't it?
The voice work.
Yeah.
To be honest,
the Greek mythology is handled really well. I think it made me more interested in it.
Left unturned. I think we spoke about it last week. When you come out of the blood and you can hear it dripping on the floor, zoomed out in an isometric view like that, it was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And when things are hanging in the foreground that are actually the midground, that kind of lower, it's almost like someone ripped a wall or a page out of a book and you can see through it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I think it's beautiful. The more you play it, the more detail you see.
True.
Like I say, I'm also playing it. It's been a very, very busy week for me this week, and I think I've managed just a little bit of Hades. I got to the first boss a couple of times.
Yeah, Megra.
And to be honest, not impossible. It's getting over half damage down on her.
Yeah.
And most of that damage is inflicted before she brings on her minions that chase you around the room.
Yeah, with that boss fight, I found just ignoring those most of the time and just pump that damage at her and get her down as soon as you can, because otherwise she's going to whittle your health down just as quick. But it's a game that definitely rewards not having too big a break between playing it.
Agreed.
Like a couple of days is fine, but if you start having a week and then don't play it for a week, you lose the momentum and like what does that ability do, etc.
That would quite easily become a game that you just left behind.
Yeah, so Ghost of Tsushima expansion came out. I can't quite afford that until next month. So for me, I was like, I'm going to finish Hades before I buy Ghost of Tsushima upgrade, which is in the UK $24.99 if you're buying it to upgrade on the PS5. If you own it on PS4, which me and you do.
Or you could be silly and pre-order on Amazon and just go for PS5, not really thinking, remember it, doing it, and all of a sudden.
Well, you've got it in the collection, haven't you?
I know,
it's a nice box as well.
Is it though? Because when it came, it was like, is this? Oh no.
You're not a fan?
No,
it's not much different, really, I suppose, to the first one.
I am a fan. It was just.
Speaking of director's cuts, we've got a little bit of bonus news coming up, and we'll lead into the news now.
Well, the man at the reins tells me where to go, and the pond says, "Yeah." It's the news to scale the very darkest region of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, I think that should be how people refer to me. Should be UC Ponce on the Discord now. It's short
wonderful news.
Right. Anyway. Looking to lose a few pounds, PS5's opened up a Fat Fighters franchise. Fat Fighters?
Yeah.
You may recall last month we reported on the news of the revised PlayStation 5. If you don't remember that, or poo-poo to you, which was first uploaded to the organisation's Japanese website. Now it looks like it's quietly gone on sale with Australian website Press Start noted the lighter hardware units have been spotted down under. Curiously, the updated SKU in this instance is a Blu-ray unit, while the aforementioned manual referred to the digital edition. So if you've been keeping your ear to the ground, PlayStation has been slowly reworking the launch variants of their console. And the rumour was the digital edition was going to get some pounds shaved off. Well, transpires it's the disc edition. So what's changed with this model? Well, not a massive amount. In truth, the model number is different to begin with. Launch units carried CF1 XXX naming convention, while this update has the CF-11XX convention. The most obvious alteration is the screw, which is used to attach the system to its stand, has been updated to a thumb screw. So you'll no longer need to use a screwdriver or any other tool.
That's a good idea. Simple, but fix.
Who doesn't have?
Well, yeah, I know.
That's all. You
Yeah, I think that's probably what I use.
Or
Even though I've got the
instance,
tools.
there is some denomination that would have fitted in there, like a penny or
Yeah.
a 5 pence. It's also a fair bit lighter. This is the news, really, to the tune of 3.6 kg, which I think personally is a hell of a lot safer. It's unclear if there are any other changes, but presumably they're minor if they are. It's worth noting it's not uncommon for Sony to refresh its hardware shortly after launch. A minor post-release revision will reduce its power draw and replace its hard disk bay cover with a matte plastic panel as opposed to a glossy flat. In this particular instance, the manufacturer's been battling to meet PS5 stock demand, with the device selling out. The company has said it will be able to fulfill its production targets in the short term, so it's possible some of the changes made to this model help achieve that. Also news. This model made its way to the UK. One was sold from Smiths.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, there is more stock coming in, isn't there? I've got to say, I love my PS5, and that's one of the best launches, even though it was during lockdown and I spent most of the weeks leading up to it panicking I wouldn't get my console from game. No, I as soon as I got it, went down, picked it up, took it home in the car. It was my birthday as well, so added happiness on that day. Chinese takeaway for tea. Couldn't do a lot else because we weren't allowed to see anyone with those ridiculous rules, but that's nearly a year ago now, and I've had some great times on it already. I've played some really fun games that I've really enjoyed. Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, totally agree.
Returnal.
I had a close-up.
Demon Souls.
I had a close-up on with it at launch. Astro Bot drew me real close to the console.
Yeah.
And then I guess what's happened is my life has changed.
Yeah.
And I am not playing it as much as I would like. I suppose that's the difference. I think the machine's great, it's beautiful. When I pick it up, the dual sense is on. It's like, and it's these feelings don't cross into my alternative handheld gaming device, which is like a Vita, which is new, but starting to feel very ancient compared to the PlayStation 5.
You need to cut the past loose, embrace the future.
What am I going to play with?
PS5 remote play. Will not work very well. I mean, I've been meaning to ask you.
A phone screen. I don't want to take it. I don't want to take an expensive DualSense around.
Good point. How's your DualSense holding up? Just on that subject.
Well, I was playing on a DualShock 4 earlier.
The hounds are making a noise.
Don't worry about the hounds. Probably sensed Stingray an hour away.
He usually brings some meat, but I don't know what sort of meat it is. It's definitely.
Well, we haven't seen Wayne Ray for a while.
Oh, God.
Stingray's not one to waste an asset. So if you had any of those cocktail sausage, I would say they're deboned Wayne fingers.
Goodness me. Poor Wayne.
What were we on about before you distracted me? Listen, if I can't remember.
How much I love the PS5 because it's the only machine well, my brother's got the Switch.
Anyone good with Photoshop? Need a picture of Tom stood next to a PS5 in a veil. Some romantic English church.
I just remember looking at even when people have seen it the other week on my son's birthday, they were like, holy SHIT, is that a PS5? I was like, yeah. But it's weird you still can't just go in a shop and buy it after nearly a year. You can't. Can't go in a shop very easily and buy one.
So if I got in the car now and went to Farmington and went to Smith's or
Farmington, of course. It's basically like, you know, the Suez Canal where the container ship got stuck. we don't worry about that. We're just
Read
radio.
the second piece of news before I ring your throat.
The law's got to me this week.
My good God, where were we going at that point? Farmerton Smith's franchise. Who was that going to be owned by? St. John Smythe. The guy who set up Netflix, apparently.
Okay.
There's a deep cut for the law.
Moving on to the next bit of news. Xbox gaming the system. Gamescom 2021 has crept up on us. Remember when we covered that on the show? With the festivities getting started tomorrow.
That was another episode that was as popular as the Pox. Not because everyone got it, because everyone chose to avoid it.
Okay. August 24th with a special Xbox stream that will share the latest updates and gameplay for some of the biggest games coming soon to Xbox. Here's a bit of what you can look forward to during the event. You'll get in-depth updates from some of our previously announced Xbox Game Studio titles, alongside some of our third-party partners, including some of the incredible titles coming to Xbox this holiday. Up-and-coming releases to our monthly subscription service, Xbox Games Pass, and much, much more. The show will be hosted by Paris Lilly and Kate Yeager. And based on the description above, it does sound like this will be more of an update style show rather than packed with new game announcements. However, we'd expect to see the likes of Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite in attendance, hopefully with a release date for the latter as well. Xbox Aaron Greenberg has confirmed there will be no new reveals or major surprises at the show.
Thing is, Tom, that's exciting. But when and how will I be able to tune in to the Gamescom?
Well, you can tune in on Tuesday, August the 24th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. British tea time, 7 p.m. Central Eastern time. The show is expected to be around 90 minutes long, and you'll be able to tune into that on YouTube or various other video.
90 minutes long. Bizarrely the same time it takes for you to enter into, commit, and disengage from your mating. Not mating, but the dance.
Devil's in the detail. On the subject of Gamescom, we have a bit of bonus news.
It's not like you to wield in a clap, let alone some news.
Dastardly Darren, the agent, has told me I must clap. I told him only if talcum powder is provided for the hands.
And that's why you have a bottle of
Thank
Johnson's. Don't abuse it.
Lovely.
That's a decade's worth. I've cleared that one down.
Okay. It's got to last a decade.
What's this bonus news?
The bonus news, the first gameplay footage of Death Stranding Director's Cut is going to be shown at Gamescom.
Bonus news.
It's certainly a little bit of news.
I love that game.
That's why I thought you'd like it. I think there's quite a few fans of that game.
Upsets me is blatantly not got time.
No, it depends how much of. Obviously, I've got the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut to play at some point, which I'd probably prefer over Death Stranding. More to that
Iki Island. I just want to go see it, do it, move out. I've also
the armors that they brought out to coincide with like the different PS4 games. I think they were available for like a brief amount of time.
Right.
They have put those in now for everyone, which is quite cool. I'll not spoil which ones they are for those who don't know. I know some of them. I don't know all of them. So yeah, do you want a bit of last minute bonus news? Because it's quite it's something you might like.
Okay.
Bonus news is a game.
Bonus news, if that's what you're going to do.
Okay, perform properly. That is good. A game that came out on the Switch quite a while ago called The Tourist that you looked at.
Yes.
I remember you pointing out, it said it looked quite good.
I missed it by the time I got games.
It's coming to the PlayStation 4 and 5. Megaton announcement.
Bonus news.
And I think it's coming very soon. But it's quite a fun adventure game.
Well, it was locked in on the whole exclusivity thing, and fair play, because I think that game was appealing. And when I did secure myself access to Games Pass,
I
looked who'd already come off but it was a thing.
It was a shame because it was very, very well praised by the critics, and a lot of people love it. But it kind of just vanished, and then
it looked great. I suppose in a way it launched on the Switch, and I think sometimes the Switch obviously has some hardcore owners.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? That it gets a lot of indies, but really a lot of the players are playing it for mobile Fortnite and other bizarre, or just the Nintendo first parties.
Watch and ramble like that.
Yeah,
You know, strange characters. But no, you're right. I agree with you. And obviously on the Xbox, people probably had it, played it on Games Pass, completed it, didn't like it, whatever, kicked it to the curb. But the problem there being is it never got any, and this is the old man talking again, it never got any shelf space. Therefore, it never physically actually grinded itself into the consciousness.
It's a shame, like, you can't, I mean, in game you probably can, but I miss going into a shop and they've got like a bit of a chart, like 1 to 10, and you look and sometimes you'd be like, oh, I like the box. Box art is a thing of the past, really, in some ways, that you
Bobby
used to
wanted to do a show about box art.
That's a great idea.
I just couldn't quite. We were coming at it probably from a weird angle, but I don't think it would hurt to do a show about box art.
Something for the future, definitely. Did we miss anything? Do you have an opinion or take on the news we missed? Now he's squirming. Let's see whether
113, and I have absolutely no idea what's happening next. When you take command of the script like this, all hell's breaking loose.
So, how do the collective masses get to interact with us?
The immense,
George,
amazing, beautiful. Because if you listen to the show, you default the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful. Because you can't all be the most beautiful. You're one of the most beautiful humans on planet Earth. Question though is, how would you get in contact with us? Well, you could pop yourself over on your phone during your lunch hour or whenever. You could go to Instagram. You could drop us a follow. You could even go to Twitter. A very strange hellhole of a place where every time someone turns around 180 degrees, they've got their previous person they've been speaking to's cutlery drawer embedded in their back. But if that's where you choose to spend your lunch hour, Twitter's cool by me. Also, while you're on the social medias, there's a little drop-down box to a safe space. All the show's content. That's correct. All the episodes we've ever done are 2. We are working on getting them remastered and put back up. It's taking a little longer than we thought. Access to all that. Access to the show's YouTube channel. It's a little dead from the neck down. Some would say it's in necrotic flesh status right now, but if you want to watch me go through all of Minecraft, you can do. But the thing is, the other drop-down box there takes you to the Discord. We're calling that a safe space for gamers. You can go there, surrounded by like-minded friends, gamers. The one combining thing is you all like the show, or at least pretend to. Well, you all know about the show. That's what holds you together there in that one place, and we really appreciate it. But you know what? Seamless as ever. Next week, to highlight probably the best kept secret on the internet, we're going to wield out the unofficial control of podcasts. Community manager. That's correct. We're bringing in, you've heard his name, no doubt his name will be in the feature. His name's Bo Belover. Did an absolute turn for us setting up the Discord. He manages it, polices it for naughty words, unacceptable content, keeps it all running in the background, organises the polls, does all that sort of stuff. So we're going to have him on. So we look to you next week for questions. Now we're going to do the post. Picture of him with the unofficial control podcast mug. Boom. Snapsy. That's how it's happening.
Dastardly Darren's already asking if he's got an agent.
Dastardly Darren is a blood-sucking leech. He attaches to every piece of talent that comes through Farmington. Yet instead of them bleeding, I do. Strange.
He's basically got rid of Dave Perry's tattoos. Just all vanished off his body. Apparently, he turned them into lampshades and just sold them.
David Perry, to think we've had him on. Anyway.
Mate, we are a big show.
We are the big show. We are the number one show in gaming, and there's only one reason for that, because everyone else has given up. All right?
Hey, I tell you what, that's what Ray Kroc said, the founder of McDonald's. Well, not the founder, he is the film founder. He says nothing beat.
Because I don't finish games anymore, and now you're giving me history. What's this?
Go watch a film called The Founder. It's basically how McDonald's got turned into a franchise. Very good film. Michael Keaton, one of the most underrated.
I've watched the documentary about it. But I've not seen it.
The film is fantastic. It's done in a real good style. Of course it is. Got added drama. Excellent.
Fake drama.
And he talks about how nothing beats just sheer perseverance. And because he was, I think, in his late 40s, 50s when he actually took that and became multi-millionaire. Great film.
One day.
Anyway.
Well, wow. We are crossing back into each other now. Every week, so next week we have a Bible over on, so lots of questions and whatever you want to ask him, I suppose. If it's edgy, he won't get on the show. But if it's in reason, he's a fun guy. He's not a mushroom. He's a fun guy. We'll ask him anyway, I think.
So we're asking him questions about the Discord and how it works and the community.
About the community, about him as a person, about what games he's into, what systems he plays on, what brought him to this point in time in his life. What does it feel like to be the community manager? Does he feel responsibilities for being the community manager? Has he sold his wife and children into slavery to get his mum to listen to at least half of one episode, possibly even the one with him in it? That's yet to happen. There's a question.
They are.
That's probably what Steve listening was.
Now for something a bit more serious, anyway.
Question.
Is gaming too addictive for a younger generation?
Before
Obviously,
we dive into the reader comments, I've got a little bit of something, because it is a serious subject.
You don't want to do this at the end?
I don't know whether to do it at the beginning or the end. What do you think? I didn't know whether to just run through that to make sure we cover it off, because some people have messaged in and they're having a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
and then some people have messaged in, and obviously it's deadly serious because some people it affects them more.
I think it would probably be better at the end.
All right, let's do it at the end then. But we have got some stats and figures, and if gaming addiction is an issue for you or any of your siblings.
This is like back in the day where they'd do an edgy storyline on a soap, and then at the end it'd be like, are you affected by anything in this program? Contact this number. It's basically us now. Farmerton is the soap opera.
When you've got to episode 113, you're that highbrow. Next week, I don't know what we're going to be talking about. Probably history.
Who knows where the show will go?
Anyway, every week we put up a post. We give you a heads up now. The week before, it's not just a slapdash that I'm thinking of it on a Thursday morning. Don't you dare. Okay, it's all planned. Don't you even over. You know it's planned because I already got in contact with you 2 weeks ago. Up here for thinking, down there for whatever it is.
Doing.
So anyway, serious question: is gaming too addictive for a younger generation? We posted it up. You guys got in touch, and we've interwoven those into the feature and a little bit of merit. Now, obviously, I reiterate that some people are taking this slightly more seriously. Others having a bit of fun with it.
Either are good. It's
well, first one out of the post bag, it's the amazing Danny Plays. Go check her page out. She has pickups that I would give my right arm for.
And the pickup's been difficult with obviously no car boots for quite some time.
eBay, charity shops, all good. So Danny Plays, check her out on Instagram. She's got a couple of pages now. She says, I wish it was more addictive so I can actually get through my ever-growing mountain of games. I'll be keeping an eye on this discussion for advice. So there's somebody who wants to give themselves a game.
I think she's probably got one with the collection, a collection addiction.
That's very true. It is true that collecting can become retail therapy. It's double dangerous because it's something that you are collecting and you're into. But video games are something that you can stumble across everywhere. From a brand new one that's just come out in the supermarket to stumbling across that classic game you always wish you had or had for 50p at a charity shop or Carbo. Collecting and hoarding and unopening things and getting special editions and putting them in other cupboards and buying the red and black control of the PS5 and never using them. Some would argue
No, but if that's something you enjoy and it does make you feel happy, and people collect all sorts of things, don't they? And it is a shame if someone has these massive collection of video games and they don't play them that much, because it's like having, I don't know, the BFI's 100 best films, and you've got them, but you never sit and choose to watch a lot of them. You're just missing out, aren't you, on the purpose of those products? Yeah, I think if you enjoy it, do it, but just try and take some time to actually play them.
Yeah, I think that's always good advice. Well, to be fair, I'm sure there's someone out there collecting cars that can't even drive.
Absolutely, yeah.
So can you appreciate something without using it in the way it was intended? So someone likes collecting video games. When pushed, they confess they don't own the console, but they find them culturally significant. They like the art, they like the adverts that they see.
So I think some people collect like for the future history of those sort of things. Like to have that full. I mean, we've seen people on the podcast or pickups where they've had like the full PAL collection of a console. And I mean, that is a massive amount of games.
Next week, the return of Listener Stingray. Oh, look at the colour drain from his face.
Like a ghost haunting the ponds in the manor house. Well, thanks for your comment, Danny Plays. We'll move on to the next one, because this will take some reading out. He's run out the printer. Do you mind? You can take it. That's fine.
The pond's going to take this one on the chin, to be honest with you. C. Pliskin. Now, I don't agree with bullying. Everybody on Instagram should message him, direct message him, and comment on everything he says and does on the internet, because this guy needs to join the Discord.
Is he not in it?
He's flat out refused. His fans are waiting for him. There's a page dedicated to his monologues. Let's add another one. Oh, wow. Bringing up the big question now, are we? To be fair, as much as I've ever heard that video games have made people in real life to be sadists, racists, and sexists, and any otherists, scientists, possibly, C. Pliskin, could gaming turn someone into a real-life scientist? We'll
Scientist simulator.
You can name, really, there are two sides of this argument to look at. As a gamer and a non-gamer, C. Pliskin, cracking that nut straight down the side. So let's take a look through the fine example of a gamer, i.e. me. Firstly, as a man in my early 20s who's been playing video games since I was 4. Gaming has become just a bigger relief for life, akin to looking after your pet, to renting a film for the weekend. However, in the past few years, where I would have played games almost every weekend, up from 7 till 2 in the afternoon, I've now fewer time than ever to play games, be it with college, creative projects, social events, or desire to reach my 10,000 step counter daily. I still play games, though, whether it's the latest or the greatest my console to offer, but I'm willing to bet that if you were to look at my PS4/5 to see what I spend the most time playing, I'd say YouTube. Yeah, for the longest time, my PS4's most used app was YouTube.
Yeah.
Would actually be the one app that I've used most before any games are mentioned, because, again, I simply don't have the time anymore. So what about the other side? The critics. The people who regularly speak out about the medium. Now, from what I can tell, the fear and that some people are dangerously addicted isn't entirely valid. As you do see cases and news reports about people either being so hooked to gaming or those whose personality has changed just because of gaming. However, I've yet to see anyone that way in real life myself, as most of the people who I know that play games are usually like me, just playing them with just enough of a sense of responsibility to know when to do something else. Overall, this isn't the easiest thing to respond to, especially when you're addressing people outside the gaming community who make this sort of comment. But I feel like there hasn't been enough evidence that the games are addicting or ruining people's lives, and the majority are aware that there's more to life than video games. To quote Groucho Marx, I'm not crazy about reality, but it's still the only place to get a decent meal.
That's a great quote. That's a great quote.
That's the sort of thing you get tattooed on the soul of before.
It is.
Great comment. As always, brings up some solid points. Unofficial control of community. Don't bully him. But everyone should ask him the question. Why are you not on the Discord? You're the embodiment of the Irish beef industry. Get yourself on there now. Tom, got confused while he was away. There was a whole sub-joke about simplicity being the embodiment of the Irish beef.
Okay.
Call him the Irish beef. Then he said he was the embodiment, and I ran with it. It was great.
Fair play. Like anything, I think we need to realise anything in moderation is okay. You said to me when we had lockdown, is that the doorbell?
It was one of the staff.
I accidentally rang the bell.
That's going to have, don't lean on that. That brings them here. As you will.
He's coming up the stairs now.
Fine, I'll tell him when he gets here.
Okay.
How far would you have got if I called you back? He'll be fine.
Okay.
He's cool today.
He can have the evening off, can't he? Play some cards or, go down the village
Very
fair.
old man, inherited from the Grantham family. Our book was called Thomas Arrow.
Okay. Copyright coming our way soon.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry. The other thing that I find outstanding with him is he camped in a row of pink tents at Freddie Mercury.
Very good.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we were talking about, so when you were in lockdown, you were saying how you wanted to keep up with your routine of fitness and staying healthy in mind and body, and that the video games were a reward for the end of the day. And I found that very inspiring, and I think it's true for a lot of things in life. You've got to go earn stuff, and it's as simple as that. If you indulge yourself in every favourite thing you do all the time, it no longer becomes special. Same with food and other hobbies or addictive things, smoking, drinking.
I've been down the road and back again with food, I would say. And
I think there's quite a few listeners who have messaged in who wrote to Thinner Me.
Yeah.
And C. Pliskin mentioned his 10,000 steps. That's not a small amount. I think that's 8 or 9 miles a day, because I have mine on at work.
I think it's more like 6.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. I've done 17,000, was close to 9. But anyway, that's a great effort, C. Pliskin. Keep that up every day. But yeah, it is a reward, and with busy lives, we don't have as much time for things as we wish.
His name up. Stephen, I know you're listening. You've been through a little bit recently. I hope you're well thinking of you. Road to Thinner Me. Everyone wishing the best and brave.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think C. Pliskin raised some good points. He split it down the middle and showed us one side, and then flipped the coin and showed us the other side. Very well done. Some would say his comments better than the scripts. Up next, AJ Vills. First time I've seen their name on here, although I'm probably wrong, but we'll call them a new listener.
You just give me the DX sign.
I just misfired my own hands and missed a clap.
They go on to say, forgetting that I've grown up with the rise in gaming, I understand how thrilling and exciting gaming can be. Better than TV films I had as a child, and can understand why the current generation will turn to more immersive gaming before other media. Entertainment has evolved, but as a parent, I'm not concerned. I'm much happier for my children to be addicted to the thrill of gaming across multiple experiences than the thrill of dangers on the streets I grew up seeing: drugs, alcohol, fighting.
Yeah.
Gaming is also proven to improve certain mental and dexterous skills. I only have to keep on top of when they turn it off rather than if their pupils are dilated.
Great thing is, right, absolutely solid point. No matter how dangerous gaming is in people's minds, it's certainly better than drugs, alcohol, fighting. Now, I know we grew up on the mean streets of Farmington, but there's still things you get exposed to as a young person.
Yeah.
Imagine if, again, as a parent, you want to wrap your children in cotton wool and you never want them to grow older and you want them to remain this innocent being for the rest of their lives. And the funny thing is, what happens to kids is they start getting hair out their armpits and opinions, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, boom, they're not children anymore. But you still have this inbuilt feeling to keep them safe.
Mm-hmm.
So, the thing is, life experiences are all about getting yourselves in and out of tight spots. So, by keeping your children safe on a console, are you actually stopping them from getting into some of the adventures you had as a young person? Does every generation curtail what was acceptable to the previous generation to the point now where kids are just going to get, I don't know what they're going to do?
I think there's this like urgency to shield them from everything, but they'll be seeing way worse stuff on the internet and just through word of mouth, and they just seem to be growing up a lot quicker. But probably every generation says that. I'm sure our parents said that about our generation. But you're right. I mean, life experience is very important. You basically got to turn them into, like, make sure they survive, to make sure if they get on a tight spot, they can get out of it. Because there's going to be, no matter how much you shield them through life, they will come across something in their life where there is either no opportunity to get away from it, and they've got to learn. You've got to. Yeah, absolutely. Failing that.
Again, it's not probably a skill you got, but is it something that, again, distracted? I do agree with the intent of the statement, though. They were safe, and I knew where they were.
He's raising a good point in the fact that you know where they are when they're on the console. Again, we've touched on the subject of it is making them a little bit like, I can type this to this person, say what I want, and there's no repercussions. If you did that in the street, you get dropped. So they do need to get.
Tom, you can't even drop your pants.
At the Farmerton Circus, I think you'll find it was wrong.
Oh my God. I was going to say, talking to people who can drop their pants, that's probably not a compliment. But Nerdyman13's been in touch. He says it's always been addicted. It's no different in the 80s than it is now. Is that true? Or do you think that it's actually way more open to draw people in?
I think it's more of a gambling, monetized issue now. I
know people get value from season pass, and I know they're not a great deal of money, but you pay money to then double down on the reward path. You are getting more rewards, but you might never finish the season pass before. Now you've paid for the privilege, you're going to see it through. You're going to get loads more free stuff to put on your character's head, face, skin for your gun, picture of a dog you want to stick on your tag, whatever drivel it is. All of a sudden, you've got so much stuff, free or paid for, in your online kitty, you couldn't possibly consider buying or playing another online game because you've got £500 worth of DLC. See what they're doing?
Yeah.
But the thing is, you could have had most of that for free. But because you paid, you've doubled down on it, and now you've got it all, and now you've got double that amount. I'm not keen.
I'll say this. Is it much different that we spent time as our currency grinding games back in the day because I want to unlock that special character, or HBK WrestleMania 2000 N64, grind away through the career. I want to unlock all the wrestlers. The doorbell again. Thomas, return downstairs. He's straight up here, isn't he? The top bloke.
He loves it.
He does. So where I was at was, is it any different? The addictiveness we showed, grinding for stuff, than someone spending and having a spending addiction to get that stuff quicker. Takes a bit of the fun out of it in some ways, because it's kind of like,
it means more people are going to see it.
How do you mean?
If people find out they can spend one.
Oh, as in you can buy it, it's easier than actually.
Because back in the day, games were absolutely savage. You'd have to have played that 60 hours to unlock the left eyebrow.
I remember
the character.
I traded GoldenEye for the N64, finished it, and wasn't playing it much more after all the multiplayer shenanigans, which were great. But I remember picking up a copy at a car boot. It was just a cartridge, no box. Took it home. It had everything unlocked, even the higher difficulty stuff that you had to unlock, like the two hidden levels, all the bonus characters, all the guns, all the cheats. Unbelievable.
Wow.
What a bargain. Because I never got that. I finished the game, but I never got all of that sort of stuff. So to me, it was like a DLC pack.
There were, back in the day, Nintendo magazine, whatever it was called, NMS or OMS. It used to have guides in there all the time about how to fully unlock it. Never bothered with it, to be honest with you. Never bothered with it. Someone else who got in touch, Daniel Sonic 87. Absolutely yes, video games lost the behaviour. Not for everyone. When cinematic games took the place of more balanced gameplay and movie phase. Gameplay difficulty is absolutely too low to give the achievement feeling that 80s, 90s games gives it at times. AKM,
I think he means I am a hardcore gamer.
I am a hardcore gamer, forgive me, Daniel Sonic. I'm trying to conquer Metal Slug 5 difficulty level 8 without dying. For me, this is the true extent of pure gaming. Go and play and begins the brain work to win. When I play cinematic games, I have the bad feeling that the game is trying to help me a lot, and I hate it because I want to try my best to improve performance over the pleasure of the story. If I have to see a good story, I read a book or watch an anime movie on Blu-ray.
That's a very interesting comment.
There's a man there that's saying, no, I've had enough of these story games. Give me the old school games that I like, that I want, that I'm addicted to. I keep going. Daniel Sonic's a guy, Daniel Sonic _87, a man whose taste refined in the 80s. He can't find any 80s food that he likes now. He has to keep eating all this foie gras goose, this look at the story, meant there was 60 hours of gameplay, that every nuanced emotion this character could feel. Daniel Sonic ain't got time for that. He wants to hit go, insert some coins or some coupons, and he wants to
insert some. Yeah.
He just wants to smash buttons and play games, and now it's all, oh, my love, no feelings.
I can appreciate both. For me, I enjoy both. Like Hades, Devil May Cry, Demon's Souls, I suppose, is slightly cinematic, but it's very old school, and you got to persevere and play through it and keep going, and it's very difficult. Trying to think of other examples. Cuphead, that's an old style, like very difficult game, but very enjoyable. I love gameplay like that, but I also enjoyed Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. He's right in the fact that they do try and hold your hand a little bit and do make things a bit too easy sometimes.
They're trying to keep you from buying, so you almost have this uninterrupted, seamless experience. Yeah,
it's a very fine line, and I think depending on what sort of gamer you are, you need to spend some time at the start of the game. Last of Us Part 2 had some very good call them menu settings for loads of different things, but also for difficulty. And I think it's worth tinkering around with those to tailor the experience to what you want, really. Anyway, we're probably digressing off a little bit on that one, but
who else has reached out to us?
Finch the Gamer, thanks for the comments.
How is he?
He's very well. Loyalist commenter probably ever. You tell me. You say everyone in the Discord is fine, and I go to sleep at night.
When Beyblade is on next week, I'm not going to let him leave. On air, we're going to set your phone up with Discord again.
Mate, I don't have a phone.
He's coming home. He's coming home. He's coming.
I prefer the Atomic Kit and Gareth Southgate song.
We're playing for Farmerton. Farmerton. You mean that one?
No.
Which one do you like?
Southgate, you're the one. You still turn me on. You can make me whole again. No, football's coming home again. That's how it goes. Great little change of lyrics that was. Oh, I miss watching the football.
Hearing you sing, seeing your eyes sort of puff up with water as you put your emotion into it. It's
tragic, isn't it?
Car
crash.
Tell me what the Mickey Meister says.
He says, I think for me, the key thing is whether there is a difference between gaming and various other forms of entertainment. For some reason, gamers have this reputation of having no life and other negative connotations. Yet your average person will be sat in front of the TV. That's a really good point. From the second they get in from work until they go to bed, and then straight back on in the morning. It's like saying, right, that's enough ice cream. Now just sit and eat your donuts for the rest of the night. Great point. Both of these forms of media can be damaging in excess, but in moderation can help with social and educational development. Plus, much like television, gaming can simply just act as a form of escapism from the outside world.
Sadly, although I mentioned foie gras earlier as a modern game, I see myself as a foie gras type person. Here, I'm the guy that's had enough ice cream, and now I'm going to sit and eat donuts for the rest of the night. That's the sort of character I am. If I'm not here, I'm taking away handheld gaming devices to make sure I can game.
No, I went through a stage like that of where it's like I must take, I don't know, the 3DS or whatever I had back then, and then have my home console as well. I don't have the addiction as much, but when, like I said earlier, when I go in and go all in and really want to get involved in that game, and to me it's an event a bit like a big movie coming out, and I've got to get that and then watch it and play or whatever. But his points about the way in excess it can be damaging, but let's look at the positives. Hand-eye coordination has been vastly improved for children, especially through video gaming. They've already said there's people out there who've probably got the reflexes of, you're talking like top tier professional first person shooter gamers, those sort of people. They've got hand-eye coordination probably as good as a fighter pilot. Obviously, take them out and put them in an airplane, they'll crash it. But in terms of their speed and reflexes,
Microsoft flights.
exactly. There you go. I mean, there's these simulators which can give people understanding of the way things work. Like,
listen, okay, I've got so much more understanding from the gardener now. I've played
horticultural
simulator. Yeah.
Okay.
When he comes to me with his hours slip, and I'm like, fair play to you.
Okay. It took you that long with the grass roll.
You've heard that.
Manually push.
I've watched.
So yeah, there's some massive benefits. Problem solving is another one. It's like I've always found I've enjoyed problem solving in video games. Zelda always had a lot of puzzles. I always found it very interesting, and it's helped me in life about take a minute, look around. What's the problem? How can you sort it? It's just there's loads of.
Hang on a minute. Does that mean the time you got trapped in the kitchen garden for the house, you smashed all the pots and fell asleep?
I thought you were about to say got out the Prima Game Guide to learn how to rebuild all the fine
the gardener
crockery.
didn't even know to explain them how you could leave the walled garden. But instead, you got confused, burnt the note, smashed all the pots, and then fell asleep.
Killed some spiders, and jobs are good.
Did we manage that?
But yeah, there are some very good pluses to video games, and I think.
Let's have a word with the Oracle. Retro gamer Thomas, husband to a famous wife.
I thought you were about to go the gladiator route there.
No, I wouldn't wish that on Donna or the wonderful man. I think for me it's addictive to the extent that if I'm really into a game, I can't wait to get home from work and play it. And I'll try and play every hour I have spare. I've been there with you, sir. It's been an absolute joy. But it's not something that takes over my life. Lies, work, family and friends always come first. Lies. I think especially nowadays, what is addictive is loot boxes, which tend to be more addictive to younger stroke teenagers. I'm a big FIFA player, but I don't just play foot. Just
FIFA Ultimate Team.
God, you know that. Because I don't agree with buying card packs, which is technically gambling. Some with online shooters, which have loot boxes, which can be addictive.
I feel they could implement like the Panini football stickers, because I always used to get the Premier League albums and fill them. And
I thought you were referring to like a toasted Italian roll.
No, mate. It's kind of it sandwiches together. It forms melted pictures of footballs. But yeah, I feel like they could integrate that quite well. And just collect the sticker, and then you can just make it a bit more fun. Now it's just about the company making loads of book, which is going on about here. It is very addictive, and there have been a lot of court cases about this, haven't and changes in law. Yeah. Anyway,
he makes his most solid point here. In our wonderful Discord, he's referring to the unofficial Controller podcast Discord, the one that you should be joining. Yes, you've never commented. press for any money. You're not even on the Discord. How much is this show, Tom?
£0. 0 pence.
I'm not a maths guy, but I think I could argue quite strongly. That's a great price.
Bargain.
Little pricey, just to suggest quality, but we're not giving this show away. No, hang on a minute. We are. And all the community stuff. And a place to like and share pictures of your favourite game. Oh. Anyway, in our wonderful Discord, we have quite a few FPS players who play the correct way, plenty of hours in the game with the old version of domestic here and there, but unfortunately, everyone can play that way. There's good addictive, which is good when you're really into a game and love it so much, but bad addictive, people spend thousands on random loot boxes and upgrades. It starts to drain the fun out when you play. That way, I think. Someone else who's got in touch, female, Toxis, to be a gamer. We'll have to wait till this one is. She says, I'm far from being an expert, but I feel that gaming addiction is like with any other addiction. There are underlying causes for the addiction to occur. I know for our autistic son, gaming is an escape from a very unpredictable world, but we have also given him the tools to cope with the outside world. Therefore, he still goes out to see his friends, etc. When the tools aren't provided, that's when addiction can set in. Whether that's caused by a parent's lack of knowledge, someone suffering with depression, who can't leave the house, or simply someone who hasn't got any friends. Those underlying causes need to be tackled first. Gaming alone can't be blamed for the addiction. I think that's what
That's great. Very important points there.
Whenever Francis puts pen to paper for this show, the highest grade of comment.
It is. It is a combination of things. It isn't just gaming alone. I think there's a lot of other mental health issues affecting someone if they go out and
someone suffering from depression, someone who needs the escape could very easily fall into wishing their life away all day at work.
Yeah.
To get in. And now be it for the NPC interaction or the feeling of having built a world or built up relationships with characters that you spent in an offline world, fair enough, or even more dangerous to someone who's lonely, as an example, could be multiplayer. Unless those relationships foster into actual caring relationships, it might just be going on. Maybe they're just going random routes. Noise, you know.
Yeah.
You sometimes forget on a journey where you are where you are on your journey and how lucky you've been and how unlucky some people are and where they are. And, we're all on.
When you were saying about world building and stuff within games like Minecraft or strategy games and anything really where you are, and a lot of titles you are in full control of what is going on. That's quite dangerous because a lot of the time in real life you are in control. No. Something very unpredictable can happen and you've got to react to it and deal with it the best way possible. Gaming's quite structured, especially if you're following a guide, or there's nothing wrong with that if that's how you want to play and you want the security of knowing what's next. Or again, you've got to be very careful to just make sure you're having some sort of real life experiences as well. But thank you very much for that comment.
Who's next?
It's very informative. Elliot Hughes. There's, to an extent, yes, I think gaming's addictive, but I think it's down to pay to win and microtransactions, etc. Yeah, true. Like we said before, it's very much more the gambling style of video games and the need to feel constant reward and the addiction to buying those things to have the best, skins or the best, like FIFA, the best team you can get.
Yeah,
pay to win.
What annoys me is
rather
even
annoying.
The games that aren't pay to win, are actually pay to win because some of these skins let you do things you couldn't normally do to help the skin look right. And it's not pay to win, maybe not, but it's like having a set of ridiculously expensive knights in the playground, and everyone has to have them now, otherwise they're not in the team. And
I do wonder whether,
Fortnite, everyone's got this skin, everyone's doing this dance at school, we need to dance, and I've heard the desperation in my own kids' voices for this stuff. But then
it's a bit of a status symbol now, isn't it?
But then I put myself in the mindset of when I was at school, and I just needed that thing, and my parents didn't understand, and you were lonely or possibly.
I want a pair of Kickers boat shoes. I want this bag. I'd like this coat. All that sort of thing.
And it's not any better than any other bag or coat they can provide, but in your mind, it
I want a
helps you
Calypso.
feel. I want a Calypso. I want money in my back burner to get myself Calypso and a balloon spring roll. Hot thing you do. Anyway, I understand it, because sometimes I'm like, that's useless. What are you going to do with it? But what did I ever do with my school bag, with my Kickers boat shoes?
Yeah.
Did I then bring them home, clean them, put them on a car boot, and recoup my money? No.
Put down the tip.
It was dead money. Okay, but and even worse, it was my parents' dead money. At least my children are kind of grafting on jobs or whatever to get enough money to buy a pink headband and a ninja dance.
You just got to let them learn and think if that's what makes them happy and enjoying life and they want to fit in, and you got to allow that to some extent. You can't just go,
listen, Fortnite, stop spending all the money on things that you don't actually
start saving for a mortgage.
No problems. Can I have an Xbox? Of course you can. Yeah, which one do you want? I want the one without disc. Sound okay. What are you going to do for games? I'll get Games Pass. Stop spending all your money on things you don't own. That's fine.
Yeah.
This one's actually value.
Yes. I think, as I say,
And he's in
just
that world. He's in that world. He's a streaming boy. He's doing all that. Whatever. I'm being left behind. He's gone up into space, and my operation ceiling is about 40,000.
You're chatting to Dad Hades, asking him why can't I go to
I'm talking to all the dads and the kids.
We're just in the underworld. He is Zagreus trying to get out. He is out.
Don't say that. You're going to go anywhere. Who's next?
The Gaming Gram.
What have they got to say?
I'd say it's certainly become more.
The Gaming Gram, a very loyal fan.
Most of these fans are very loyal to the show.
He just worked.
Okay. He says, I'd say it's certainly become more addictive as the years go on. Games like Fortnite, FIFA, and Warzone have kids fleecing their parents dry, in some cases without them even knowing. Yeah. It's very easy now it's easier now to probably get money off your parents without them knowing than taking it from the wallet, which is definitely wrong. Don't do that, children.
Not a child of mine, but a child mine.
10 lashes I'd have got.
Or
slipper, horse crop, cricket bat.
You're talking about what Mr. Spring
Walked into that one.
It's like, sadly, the sound troubles died away. You were like, you've got to around your house the next day. You got the Melbourne, the Amazon. I was like, they're all the names you used to shoot for father. It was probably one of the best lines in the show. No one heard it.
It goes on to say you have streamers broadcasting constantly, so even when you don't have access to games console, you can watch someone else play 24/7. Microtransactions. We'll touch on the streamers thing in a minute. Microtransactions, daily, weekly, monthly objectives and events, grinding gameplay have basically turned gaming into a job that's disguised as a hobby. Interesting point. Online stores built into the consoles have regular deals, means you no longer have to wait till you're next in town to pick up a new game. That's sadly been lost, hasn't it? You can buy as many as you want from the comfort of your own home. There's so many different factors. Let's finish the comment. Okay. Let's finish the comment. There's so many different factors at play that simply weren't there in previous generations. It's easy to see why a lot of people are into retro gaming. I often go back to my PS2 when I've had enough of seeing loot boxes and multiplayer events spewed all over my games.
Keeps spewing me back a couple of generations.
Yeah.
I just yearn.
It doesn't tend to be in the sort of higher end first party games from Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo, but if you dig a little deeper, it is there.
What you said earlier about
let's go back to what you were going to say.
Well, I know this isn't about game addiction, but there was something really nice. It kind of is about game addiction, about getting up on a Saturday, getting your jobs done.
Yeah.
And this is about earning your time again, or earning that thing. I mean, you've earned it because you've done your week at work and you've earned your wages, but then you're earning the mental space time by doing all your chores. You're getting in the car, you're making a soiree into town. You park, if you're Tom, probably going to dent every panel on your car. What's he doing?
Journeyed to Blockbuster to get Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Okay. Then you get to walk around, get coffee, see what else is going on, maybe pick up a DVD as you pass in HMV, and then pop up to the game and use your reward voucher, whatever it is, and get your game. You've got a movie.
Yeah.
You've probably bought a game that's kind of loosely.
Some snacks.
You get in your car, you're going back, it's early Saturday afternoon, the sun's beating down on your face.
I still do it. I'll buy odd titles online on the store if I feel the need to get something in the sale. But predominantly the games I buy anyway, because I can't afford to get loads. I just get the ones I really want. So I still try and do that as a thing. And if that's another thing you enjoy, then keep doing it for as long as you can. If you want to make a bit more of a day out of it, if that's what you want to call it.
I think it just, I mean, like I say, there was a really nice routine we lived or had lived for quite some time. You kind of yearn for the older days or the way things were done. He's always strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think
this in-game addiction.
No.
This point in time,
what is going on about with the streamers is interesting. I don't get.
I find though that you don't get it. Fair enough.
No, I don't get the ones where they're donating money to them. It's like these are just people playing video games, and you've just dropped $50 on it.
Right,
£50.
Let's go back a few phrases. There was the people.
Where
or not toxic.
Loneliness and
loneliness. But the thing is, right? There are streams of people doing other stuff, but the predominantly largest stream, apart from that dark art, is video games. And video games is something you can sit down. I'm kind of on the fence with it. I don't really watch. I watch a lot of gaming videos on YouTube. People that have put time into creating something like a review, like Caddy or something like that, or a podcast that I'll watch. I want long form content. That's what I need. That's how I work. But other people might just want the camaraderie. And to them, £50 feels like a lot to you for someone to give, but maybe they've waited all week. Maybe they feel so happy. Maybe they don't even have a console at home, but they have never seen modern gaming. And then let's take Last of Us and its sequel, and you sit down, we'll watch this dude or this woman watch this. Oh my God, that was amazing.
I'm not knocking streamers, and there's some very good people out there who are very engaged with their audience. They're very good on the camera and the mic, and they're talented at gaming as well. So they put on a good performance, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you, having experienced it for however many days non-stop in a row,
I felt like quite the celebrity.
I feel like a celebrity. And I was tired. I was running out of ideas.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, the amount of the way they can keep talking and engage with the people who are typing, they're playing and replying, and it's not an easy thing. Don't get me wrong, it's not quite old school graft, is it? But it's still not as easy, I think, as some people probably think.
No, well, I was reading. There's a guy who does Fortnite streams called Laserbeam, but he does other videos as well. He's quite funny. He's Australian, a little bit blue, but for the most part, he plays for his audience, which is 12-year-olds. He says that he finds it really difficult because people think that he just lives his best life. He plays video games all day. And simply what he does, he gets up, gives his head a shake, checks his YouTube algorithms, sits down, clicks record, does hours and hours and hours and hours of games,
Yeah.
20 minutes of fun content. He then sits up for another however many hours editing it, making it nice, because making a video on YouTube look sloppy on purpose ain't easy.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this about PewDiePie as an example. His content, the way he does things, is a little bit similar to ours. It feels a bit amateurish thrown together. The thing is, we script this, so does he. And then the editing behind the scenes, the zoom-ins on the lips, it all feels like the easiest visual effects to do. But daily, day in, day out, that's not easy.
It's a full-time job for most of these streamers. And
they're not living that best life that you see Logan Paul and all that. If you're a dedicated YouTuber on the grind properly, you wake up, you record, you edit, you go to sleep. You wake up, you
I mean,
record,
the Paul brothers, would not diverge too much, but I only came to sort of notice them recently when they've been sort of trying to break into professional fighting, and it's a very...
You get onto the MMA circuit, you're on my radar.
Something like that. I like a bit of boxing.
Top head cracking Ponsonbury. Why am I not heir to the throne? I don't know.
But yeah, you forget they probably grinded it a lot, editing, doing videos, making content. It's probably not been as easy as some people saying, oh, well, they've had it on a plate. Well, it's not quite like that. They're now trying to break into something else, which is a little bit, come on, you've got to earn it a bit more than you are doing. But in terms of streamers, YouTubers, it's a full-on job. For the ones who pump out daily content, especially.
A full-on job is managing the content on the Discord page. Someone could say he's a community manager.
Seamless.
Not only is it not good enough that we've got him on next week, what appeases most of the fans of the show is the fact that he's got in touch. Now, Bible Over says it may be not necessarily the games themselves that are addictive, but more so the idea of them. Play around discussion. I think the addition of social media and content creators, aka influencers, into the mix has driven a lot of it. Kids want to be just like their favourite streamer, and they want everyone on Twitter to see what they have the new hottest new cosmetics, and they're playing the popular games. See what? Waylabor's got X-ray vision onto the scene here. Great games overlooked by the masses because they're not Fortnite, Warzone, Valorant, Among Us. He goes on, he says, I'll be the first to admit I got lost in the Warzone grind. I was playing it almost every day for hours. I was hooked on chasing the win, keeping up with the meta of which weapon is the best today. Lately, I've grown tired of that though, and I'm now playing games I've been ignoring, sinking my teeth into Division 2, Sea of Themes, and the Spongos, and hopping around Games Pass playing things like Tell Me Why, Hades, and the Art of Rally.
Oh, that looks good, that Art of Rally. You need to be playing Hades.
No, I need
Nothing
to be playing
else.
Art of Rally, do I not?
No, you need to be playing Hades. And then you are allowed. You're allowed to play Art of Rally after.
I ain't got time for that. Last comment, Tom, who is it?
It's _ KAUR _ Sandhu _ 78, who says, please promote this on...
I don't even say please. That snivelling wretch of a cretin just says promote it on @gaming.addiction.
Is that probably his page?
It's probably
something that will benefit him.
People post it on Gaming Addiction, blah, blah, blah. It's annoying.
I doubt...
If you listen to the show and you want to further the show, your comment for the next week on every post you see, apart from that, don't do it to me. Whatever you do not do this to me or this show. Everywhere else, just @unofficial controller podcast. Everywhere.
We haven't done a call to arms, have we, for a long time?
We need
a bit of a boost.
We need Major.
We're coming back out swinging like Rocky in Rocky 3.
Listening, lads, it's Major Tom.
We don't need any of that. That was something we'll look back on and bury forever.
Full signed script pages for whoever gets us the most listeners over the next week. Every week we write a script and print it off, and we've kept the majority of every single page of written material. If you have a special request, me and Tom will sign it. But you've got to get us more listeners. They've got to, haven't
Yeah, we need to just broaden the audience a bit. Be nice.
We always need fresh blood.
We do.
From the people.
I mean, we couldn't ask for more loyal fans because most comment every week, and we know you do your utmost to promote the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we can just at unofficial controller at the world.
Thing is, Tom, it's only right and proper that if we do a show about gaming addiction, people might have tuned in for something a little bit more solid than me ranting about not being able to go into town, buy a game, have a coffee, and come back and probably watch Popeye. I'm dating that moment. But pause, hang on. If you are suffering from gaming addiction, it's great to do things you enjoy. But can you go too far with hobby? And at what point does it become an addiction? That's the question experts are trying to answer about gaming. Even though gaming has been around for almost 50 years, studies about its harms are still in the early stages. Different groups have come to different conclusions about whether playing should be a problem called an addiction. The World Health Organization added gaming disorder to the 2018 version of its medical reference book, International Classification of Diseases. But the American Psychiatry Association manual, DSM-5, didn't. So far, gambling is the only activity that's in as a possible addiction.
The DSM-5 does include a section to help people and doctors know the warning signs of problem video gaming. These problems can happen whether you play online or offline. They are listed in bullet points, starting with thinking about gaming all or a lot of the time, feeling bad when you can't play, needing to spend more and more time playing to feel good, not being able to quit or even play less, not wanting to do the things that you used to like, having problems at work, school, or home because of gaming, playing despite these problems, lying to people close to you about how much time you spend playing, and lastly, using gaming to ease bad moods and feelings.
Can I just say, if you're suffering with any form of addiction, no matter what it is, you could probably apply those bullet points to whatever it is you think you're doing in excess. There's almost a litmus.
Absolutely, yeah.
To whether you're overindulging.
If they're affecting a lot of those things in the rest of your life, then you probably need to just take it easy.
Not everyone who plays a lot has a problem with gaming. Some experts say that it's harmful to label people who might be very enthusiastic about gaming. One thing they do agree on, though, that is the percentage of players who meet the proposed criteria for addiction to video games is small. It's estimated between 1% and 9% of all gamers, adults and kids alike. Sadly, it's more common in boys and men than girls and women.
Yeah. Obviously, we've had a comment just briefly touching on autism. The autistic spectrum is massive. A lot of gamers have autistic tendencies, but as it says here, you can appear very enthusiastic about gaming but not be addicted to it. It's the way some people are. Like,
yeah, true. Well, me and you often,
I know people who are that enthusiastic about who is on the autism spectrum, is very passionate about mechanical stuff, motorbikes and cars, repairs, just stripping stuff down, repairing it. It's we've got to be careful not to be too harsh when it is something people just find very, very interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
And feel very passionately about.
I also, having been indulged ourselves when we get crazy into something, I think to a certain degree, it should be encouraged.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, from
We've been
what I'm aware,
haven't we? And I don't think it ever did us a massive amount of harm. I look back and think, would I be different if I hadn't been indulged, or if I had been indulged? It's hard to know.
Yeah,
no different. But
I mean,
it's a richer tapestry if you've given in.
Out of breaking the fourth wall of the show, I've worked with people with mental health issues. People have got PTSD from serving in the armed forces. You've got to sit and listen to these people, because what they're talking about, if they're getting involved in, like, it was doing sort of woodland work, forestry, that sort of thing, if they're getting into it and they're talking passionately about it, you've got to indulge it a bit and listen to what they're saying. It is a form of escapism, as such as video games can be. So, yeah, just pay that time and attention to listen to people talk about things like that, because you don't know how much it's actually helping them.
Right, true. I'll continue. It may help to start by asking yourself a few questions. Does your video game get in the way of other important things in your life, like relationships, your job, or going to school? Do you feel like you've crossed the line between loving to playing and having to play? Might you be using gaming to avoid a deeper problem like depression? It can be hard to see a problem in yourself. It's very true. The amount of time you spend gaming might seem fine to you, but if people close to you say it's too much, it might be time to think about cutting back. If you're a parent who's concerned about the amount of time your child spends gaming, look at how well they're doing at school and with friends. Having good grades and a good relationship with parents are signs that a child's video gaming is unlikely to be a problem.
Get help from your doctor or therapist or your child's paediatrician if the person you're concerned about is your son or daughter, as soon as you think that gaming time is getting out of hand. Studies about treating video game addiction are also in early stages. One therapy that can help is called CBT, or cognitive behavioural therapy. This is mental health counselling that teaches you how to replace thoughts about gaming to help change behaviour. If you're the parent of a gamer, a therapist can show you how to place limits on your child's playing time. If you have a hard time saying no, one study found that making parents part of the child's treatment makes it work better. Preventing a gaming problem. To keep the amount of time spent gaming under control, try these tips for adults and kids alike. Number 1, set time limits for play and stick to them. That is golden rule for lots of things. You've got to stick to these rules, haven't you? Also, just
so odd, not like as an adult or even as a child. I mean, an adult probably said to me, it's time to turn that off. I don't apply them, and I would apply them to my children, but setting a time limit for myself to play and stick to. Number 2, but we do. You are right, Tom. You certainly certainly make Easter chocolate last the whole year, whereas mine's gone before. Exactly.
Number 2 on the list: keep phones and other gadgets out of the bedroom so you won't play into the night. Number 3, do other activities every day, including exercise. This will lower the health risk of sitting and playing for long stretches of time. I will just touch on that one because that has been a big problem for me in real life. I work outdoors. I'm exposed to machinery and stuff that causes other health issues. I was told by a spinal consultant to probably change career or alter it a little bit. A lot of the problems I've had is from doing active work and being very physical work all day, and then going, and if you were doing that in a gym, you cool down and you do warm up and everything, all that goes with it to make sure you're not going to have any or sort of help with that. I'd come home, especially before I was married, anything like that, sit down straight away, play video games in very bad posture, and I'm being serious here. It's you mock the gaming chair, but that has made a big difference to me. It's not going to be for everyone. Some people won't suffer with it, but if you have bad posture and you have back problems, just spend a bit of money and invest in a proper chair that you're comfortable in. You might not think it's as nice as the couch or some other chair you used for years, but something with lumbar support can help a lot. But yeah, it is a serious problem.
Well, just to finish off, no one knows whether certain kinds of game are more likely to lead to problems gaming. For the time being, make sure your child is only playing games rated for their age. Couldn't be any simpler, really.
No,
I must say, Tom, that was one of the best ideas you came up with. I think the fans responded well.
Thanks again for the comments.
Show worth listening to. On a serious note, there's lots of help on the internet if you think you are, joking aside, suffering with any form of gaming addiction.
And remember to, if there's any younger listeners, to speak to your parents, because they're probably more open to hearing about your problems than you think. And
if you're afraid of, don't think that you've got nowhere to go with your problems.
Yeah.
We here on the show care. Questions at unofficialcontrolpodcast.com or messages through the social medias on Instagram or Twitter. But if you're feeling lonely or you want to share your thoughts with anybody or you want to feel part of a bigger world community, couldn't do any worse than joining the Unofficial Controller podcast.
You definitely not feel lonely there, would you?
Definitely wouldn't. And what next week with the community manager coming on board? Hear from the behind the scenes staff for a change. People just think it's me, you or Bobby. Or you and Bobby. No one ever remembers the guy who held church.
No, they don't.
Happy as I am to hold your branded Unofficial Controller merchandise, talking of merchandise with wheels, it's Stingray. It's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's boot, what's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battlefront Door this week. Did I say that right? Battlefront Door. I don't know what I said. Words become one. So these are the new release highlights for the week, August 23rd to August 29th, 2021. Listeners, these are out digital or physical, or will be by the time this podcast is reviewed, but could be. Depending on here now, Tom. Could be. Usually dependent. Spring, settle, smoke, wattle, what, pop and wall. Don't know what the lines are anymore. No one even cares. Question. What's your money?
The second one.
As I predicted it would be. Which makes
As always.
mine
I can't wait to see what you're going to pick.
the first one on the second page.
Oh, okay,
To the
okay.
finish on PC, August 23rd. Fling to the Finish is a cooperative racing game where teammates are tethered together by a stretchy elastic rope. Get up close and personal with your partner to maneuver two characters bouncing, rolling, and flinging their way to the finish line. Wait. Knuckles Chaotix on the 32X sounds exactly like this game. Fling to the Finish. Crossed with Mario Kart Double Dash. That's my case. What's next?
It's my mummy pick of the week. Please may I have this? Aliens Fireteam Elite on the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and the Xbox One, August 24th.
Make up a joke platform for it to be on. Engage. What's this game?
My mate had one of them.
I've got one in there.
I should think you have with that collection that is spewing out
That
the
actually
cupboards.
came from Dastardly Darren.
Did
There's
it?
no use for it anymore. I was like, do you want that? I was like, yeah, I do.
You would not give up anything if it was a free gaming memorabilia.
No, absolutely.
Set in the iconic Aliens universe, Aliens Fireteam Elite is a cooperative third-person survival shooter that drops your fireteam of hardened Marines into a desperate fight to contain the evolving xenomorph threat. Looks quite good.
Sounds just like a copied Alien trilogy for the PS1.
Third person.
Whoever got to
I'm not going to win you over to play that with me, Emma, so I'll give up trying.
It's a time thing. If I had more time, I'd have bought that.
We are going to do a run on Hades after this, so.
King's Bounty 2. Brilliant. King's Bounty 2, PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, August 24th. Legend returns. King's Bounty 2 is a long-awaited sequel to the legendary King's Bounty video game franchise, one of the most iconic representatives of the turn-based RPG genre. Sniper, you. Or I could do this next one.
Do this next one.
Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, PS5, August 24th. This sounds like the very first tickle across the lips of shovelware for Sony's newest console. SGW Contracts 2 is a modern warfare shooter set in the Middle East. Play as Raven. I mean, who's getting Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2? Tell you who's getting that. Yeah. I once thought about joining. I'm in the TA. All right, I'm not in the TA. I thought about joining the TA. Way too intense. Bought Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts for PlayStation 4. I'm now playing this sequel. It's a modern warfare shooter set in the Middle East. Play as Raven. Contract sniper assassin. As you take in a series of targets across your leg, single leg campaign with extreme range shots in a single challenging entries for the I play games on the night time, not that drivel you play.
Do you think someone's gone full ghillie suit with night vision goggles, dressed up playing that?
I guarantee you, because of
Going like this with a finger, checking the wind speed.
I guarantee you they play with their window open.
It sounds like the sort of thing I'd do, to be honest, so I can't mock it. Next up, we've got Mosaic Chronicles on
I do
PC.
this as well. No, you don't. You're right.
August 25th. Listen carefully, my friend, and I should tell you the story of courage, love, and luck, and the importance of reading skills. Move and rotate pieces of stained glass to complete mosaics and uncover the story in Mosaic Chronicles, story-driven puzzle game. We're casting the script down like chucking it into hell.
It's just like a pile of bodies on a battlefield. Psychonauts 2, PC, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, August 25th. This is my mummy. Yes, please, mummy. Yes, I've been a good boy, mummy. I want Psychonauts 2, please. Don't let Tom have it. No.
She's gone, mate. It's just us living here now. She ran off with the milkman.
The Amazon man.
The Amazon man. He also delivers milk. He's kind of like a everyman delivery man.
Daddy. Combining quirky midgets and mysterious conspiracies. Psychonauts 2. It's a platform adventure game with a cinematic style. Tons of customizable psychic powers. What's next?
Have a Blast PC Switch, August 26th. Have a Blast is a high-energy kinetic multiplayer party game. Battle through the most ridiculously hazardous corner of the galaxy and use your surroundings to your advantage, outmaneuver your frenemies, and shatter them into colorful bliss. I'll take another. I'm on a roll. Hotel Life, a resort simulator, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. I sound like John McCrory. No, not just the race, doing the horse racing.
Coming out now, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch.
Or just some guy running a small-time auction.
Oh, no, mate, the people that we always forget about, and I've just had this thing, the butchers with the Britney mic.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Come on, gather around now, come on now, let's burger, hot burger, hot burger, pan, you can't feed a pan less than that pan, hot pan, that's chop, here, go, here, what about half a chicken, yeah? Here you go, love, half a chicken.
You are the manager of a hotel in an idyllic location. Build, design, develop your hotel. While creating unforgettable memories for your guests who... Okay,
Magnificent Truffle Pigs on the Switch, August 26th. Well, it made that up and shaped up to be quite a big game. Magnificent Truffle Pigs is first-person metal detecting narrative game.
What? These made up.
This is made
metal detecting narrative game.
This is made by, I can't remember now, but probably someone like Where is Edith Finch?
Okay. It combines laid-back detecting and exploration with a dramatic story, all set in beautiful English countryside. It's a game about transformation. That actually sounds good.
If you knew about games, and if I played games, we'd be deadly.
My DVD pick of the week is The Detectorist. Double whammy.
Has to be on UND. You made the rule last week.
Okay, it is, yeah.
Is not on UND.
Oh, no. I'm running out. I secretly come round and had a look in your cupboard at all the UMDs.
You didn't come round, you tried to get out.
I did, yeah.
Square on the PC, August 26th, play through hundreds of handcrafted, fast-paced micro games based on horror tropes. That's on for Johan and Harvey. Explore the world of the afterlife and help the Skelebros live their death to the fullest.
Baldo, PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, August 27th. The prophecy is coming true. A pure heart child has been born. The no-hair creature, sealed in the underworld by the White Owls, is destined to rise again.
Volume control warning. Anyone with a beat stereo.
Anyone still listening at this point has just been woken from their coma.
At this point should probably be referred to as the final game out the boot. It's Tormented Souls for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch. Oh no, Xbox. What's XBX? If Xbox Series X is XSX, Xbox One is Xphone. What the hell is XBX?
I don't know.
Xbox One X. No.
Yes, there is two different ones.
Bring out a game on that.
I don't know.
It's coming out on Xbox and Switch. Who even knows at this point? It's probably Series X and S. August 27th. The prophecy is coming true. A pure heart child has been born. The no-heart creature sealed in the underworld by the wise owls is destined to rise again. You know, thank goodness for the wise owls. My UND
best shop in Sleaford, that was.
Is 20 wise owls. Oh my God. Hush back! That'll be Eslo and Midler sort of getting up out his bed like a possessed creature to his keyboard. Oh my God, I once stole a bag of joss sticks from Wise Owl. That's what people do.
Okay. I wasn't I only visited a few times.
And you were underage.
They always had like random action figures, but they were like very bad action figures of, I don't know, like mishmashes of.
I remember seeing a Quick Joy Pro, that really bad Game Boy
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And also one of the, I think recently I was sniffing around the Discord, and I think Retro Gamer Thomas had bought one of these Amstrad consoles off Rose Space Monk. I don't think anyone's ever played it, but the box was cool. And that was in there. It was that, you go in there as a school kid as well. And as before the internet, you didn't know any better. And you saw like Amstrad, and it was a console, and you saw this little Quick Joy Super Pro, whatever it was. And half of your brain's like, maybe that's actually good. Where do I get it? Before you know it, you put it in your trolley. Right, okay. Listen, I picked 24 Redemption, or whatever it is, the movie based on the 24 series. What UMD have you picked?
Super Army Soldiers. Extras Series 1. UMD.
These actually, because I know I'm a bit of a strange one and I collect UMD movies, but there is actually a series he did that actually half of the first series made it to UMD. I don't know what it's called. It genuinely is something like Super Army Soldier. If anyone wants to message in, we'll feature it next week. But in fact, 2 seconds. I know that you're a big fan of Ross Kemp. So let me just see if I type in here Ross Kemp. Now this is how you put together a decent show.
You searching for things on your phone.
Ross Kemp, UMD. Ultimate Force Collection.
Oh, mate. Ultimate Force was amazing. I actually watched some of those on YouTube about 2 or 3 months ago.
Ultimate Force.
I think he did that before being in Extras because it was kind of a bit of a homage to him. Yeah, because he's talking about speaking to real SAS people, and he's like, they wouldn't lie to one of their own.
Do you know the value for Ultimate Force Series 1 on UMD?
50p.
We buy 4. 1 penny. We buy 4 voucher. 1 penny. We sell for 0.75 pence. Of a pound. Right, and here's the front cover as well. And for the audio podcast, awesome. That's a very ropey-looking UMD with a load of edgy-looking characters in black, holding what looks to be. Now that we've done all that, he's gone because we've only got the sound for him coming. We ain't got the sound for him going, and frankly, I ain't got the patience to add it in post. What are you shaking your head?
Audio has to be the highest. Audio effects cannot be done on the cheap.
If you want to see what a good sounding show sounds like now, I'm going to refer you to another show. I'm going to refer you to the Christmas account, Christmas special. You want sound effects in and out nice? You got it.
Very well put together show, that.
Would have been the last one you played for Mumsy. I'm in this one, Mumsy. Pour me another sherry. It's a Christmas Carol, much like all the other shows that go on at Christmas. One cannot relax until one's done one's Christmas show. With all that said and done,
it's tradition.
With my ridicule, you've been very good to come back on the show and be a co-host. You've been missed and you've been wrong. If you went on the Discord, you'd find out how much, but you refuse to, so you've been missed about as much as a mild headache.
Enough for me to be happy.
But not too much for your ego to explode and then get you checked.
Not to go on full Spengler Buffon.
No.
The bigger the ego, the bigger the hair.
It was bigger the gaining knowledge and bigger the hair. That's why I let you grow it.
Both.
It transpires it was your ego. Shame on you.
Because I thought that'd be evident when I was just making massive mistakes about the PS4 being backwards compatible.
No! You've been resting enough time for that to be gone from people's memories. That you've brought
okay.
Don't do that.
We better close out the show.
I ain't got another one-man
What are you hoping to play in the next couple of minutes?
What the hell? In the next couple of minutes, no doubt you're going to force me. I'm up back. You're going to basically play Hades while I go in the editing suite of the show.
No. There'll be time for that later when I'm gone.
Dude, I don't know. The man who's in bed for 11 o'clock every night.
And up at R5.
I want some sleepy sleep.
Okay, well, you can watch, and I'll
Perfect.
I'll give...
watch someone else finish my new game.
No, I'll just give some pointers.
Okay.
Get the work experience point.
What are you going to play this week?
Carry on with Hades.
I'll tell you one thing I picked up. I managed to get very cheaply both of the...
If this is retro, it's not allowed to be played until Hades is finished.
Both of the latest South Park.
Oh, hi, yeah.
Oh, hi, yeah. Oh, now I'm interested. I saw the first one, which is what, Stick of Truth?
Yes.
Like yeah.
And then...
It was like a quiz. I thought, I talked about that not that long ago. I'll see what it's like. See if it's as good as one remembers and see if it's better than the N64 version. And then I saw the PS4 version, not much more, and it includes both games.
Bargain.
Although it probably could when it was new. Probably unlockable. Listen, I think we've had a good show. Question for you before we end. Does gaming become too addictive for you?
No. I enjoy it. I enjoy many things in life, but in moderation.
Question for myself. I don't even know what a console is anymore. And on that bombshell, that's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time. Look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. Nothing. No. There's nothing wrong with being given an official controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you next week, Tom.
See you next week.